what I like to do is to be part of the most high-tech dynamic conference you could give, or to be part of, and I'm part of it. So what I like to do, to count down, and then let's start this dynamic high-tech thing. So if you go with me, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it started. We're thinking. You think, what's this guy doing over there? And I think, what am I doing here? So really, when we go in some kind of crisis situation, the best thing to do is to stop. Stop your work, take a leave, take a break, go for a weekend out and think, because there's something wrong. Not that I invented this, because you did it in 74 and 78, the oil crisis. Everybody was shocked. That was a big surprise. All went up. The Arabs take the lead of the oil producers. That's more neutral. Excuse me. They took advantage and say, "Come on, we can ask better prices." So the economies were threatened. That's just an estimation, a big part. Nobody knows, but it was a shock all around the world, also in Holland. There was a big parallel at that time between the thinking from the Danes and the Hollands. They both said, we have to do something. You ended up with Vestas and we with a nuclear plant. So that's not the same result, is it? It was a big difference. So you came together at that moment and you said, hey, we have no oil, or it's getting more expensive, but we have a lot of wind. So why not take advantage of that? And you came together and you start thinking, and somebody said, we have to make it as fast as we can. And the other said, I have a name, Vestas. So there you go, you picked up this idea, and now it's Vestas, the biggest, I don't know if I say it right, Vestas, thank you very much. It's the biggest now, one of the biggest wind producing firms, multinationals in the world. And it's amazing that only, in fact, a small country like Denmark was able to make this happening, because the public, the citizens, the Danes, involved in this thing. You together start working with your Grundtvig Volkshochschule, and you start together to make this thing. But when you stick to this model, because I think that's the base of it all, you gained, in fact, when you look at the figures from, I have the figures from 2010, 4% of GDP by green economic innovations. That's an enormous amount. Holland had 0.3. So when you imagine you have an economy growing 4% by green innovations, or an economy which has only 0 or even -0. So you see the big difference between a financial crisis and financial prosperity is only 2% of GDP or 3% of GDP. So when you are able to make 4% of GDP by green growth, it's an enormous power. Right? And I'm convinced that Denmark is doing so good. Now it's getting hit by the financial crisis and the aftermath, of course, but nevertheless it's a big example how to deal with it.